Hey, what's up, guys? How are y'all? Welcome back to the OS Rick Project, the only podcast that promises to have a sequel recorded right after the first one. How are you guys? I know the first episode, I just finished recording it. I know it's very short, guys. I ran out of my time for last month. So with this month, I'm going to just, this episode is being recorded right after the previous one, guys. So it's going to just pick up right where I left off. When I was talking about the PlayStation showcase from, by the time you're listening to this, it was like 3 weeks ago. And I know we probably forgot about it already, guys, but there's a lot. There was several things I wanted to talk about, but I just ran out of time. So I figured I'd finish up talking about it here. I left off. Sorry, guys, English second language. Talking about Final Fantasy 16 and how the combat was from Mr. Ryota Suzuki, who worked with Capcom before doing Devil May Cry, Dragon's Dogma, several Capcom fighting games, and now works for Square Enix. So looking at the combat, it looks, I feel like that could be, that they're in a good spot, at least when it comes to the combat. The storytelling, the rest of the stuff, the combat, not the combat, but I guess how you use your spells, I guess that could be part of the combat too. Because playing Final Fantasy VII remake and the OG version, the material system, I enjoyed it very much. I think, my opinion, they did a good job, especially in the remake, making the game more action oriented. It felt really fun. I enjoyed it very much. I still had to bounce around between using the spells and just physically attacking. Physically attacking will help fill up your ATB bar. So, you had to apply pressure manually while attacking, but then also being aware of when your ATB bar is going to fill and use strategies. But that was a fun system what they did with Final Fantasy 7. With Final Fantasy 16, don't know. I mean, what we've seen so far is you'll be playing as I forgot what the character's name was. You'll be playing as a character. You will have a little dog that can help you with some assists, and then you have your party members, which are AI generated, AI controlled, rather. So we'll see. But again, the more I see this game, the more I get excited. But then I just keep telling myself, man, it's not Final Fantasy like what I grew up with. But maybe I have to just get with the times, right? Stop being the old man that yells at clouds and just realize, like, you know what? Maybe they're onto something, right? Hopefully. I mean, all we could hope is just, I mean, all we could do is hope that this game comes out pretty good. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Guys, I never played an Assassin's Creed game in my life. But I know the Assassin's Creed games are very popular. That's one of Ubisoft's go-to games. This one, what do you guys, what are your guys' predictions? What do y'all think? Do you believe they're going to keep staying with the the open world aspects of the previous three games, Odyssey, Valhalla, Odyssey, and Origins? I think Origins was the shifting points of being more open world. And then you continued it on Odyssey and Valhalla. I know some of my friends, Kevin, I think he's a big fan of Odyssey, and I think Ruben was also. I think he played that one, I think he played Valhalla, but I think Odyssey was like his favorite one too. Valhalla, I mean, just talking to my friends about it, it just seems like it's a lot of the same things, a lot of stuff on the map, and just looking around. I mean, it was a big point of discussion when Elden Ring was released. How you see the clickbait articles or the headlines that'll say Western developers upset at FromSoft because you'll read the article and be something because that's not how they would have done games like Elden Ring. And Elden Ring, I'm going to be 100% with you guys. That's one of my favorite games. I'm still playing it. I love the design of just you have your HUD, you just have your items on the corner, your health bar, and that's it. No objectives printed out there, no little things telling you what to interact with, what to pick up, no I mean, it's just the game is just go and explore what you want to explore. You're gonna get lost. You are gonna get lost, but that's half the fun. Just looking at what I see, mind you, never played a Assassin's Creed game, much less even the latest three ones three titles that have been released. I don't. That's not my type of game. I used to be. I used to enjoy it. You know, when I played Skyrim a long time ago, that's when I really enjoyed it. But I think after a while, I think I just started phasing out of the open world stuff. So I don't know. I see Mirage, and it feels like, who knows? Maybe they're gonna change it. Maybe they'll say the same. You guys let me know what y'all think. Marathon from Bungie. That's another one that I saw. Interested in it. I like the style. It had that very digital hi-fi neon colored design. And again, this is just a trailer that we saw. I saw no gameplay. When I did play Destiny, the gunplay did feel fun. I did enjoy some of the guns moving around and stuff like that. But as for like the Destiny itself, sticking with it, it was just too much. Sticking with it, it was just a lot of things to cover, and I just don't have that much time to focus. I mean, maybe I can make time for it, right? If I really liked it, but I just didn't really like it. I'd rather focus on my fighting games or something else. But Marathon did look interesting. The style, I would definitely keep my eyes on it to see how it shapes up and pans out. But right now, I haven't played Destiny. I don't know if Marathon's gonna be up there, or maybe it's gonna be something completely different. Who knows? Dragon's Dogma from Capcom. Dragon's Dogma 2 from Capcom is being released. Never played the first one. I've always seen it. I knew what it was. I knew it existed. Never played it. It was on my radar for a while. I believe it came out like during the Xbox X days or the PlayStation 3 days, around then. Correct me guys if I'm wrong. And it looked interesting. It seemed like it was Capcom's take on the fantasy genre. And if I remember, which I'm probably wrong, you'd play as your character, and then you could have other people join your party, but it wasn't actual people. It was their pawns. It was their characters that would join their party. It's like playing with like phantoms in Elden Ring. It's not exactly someone else, but it's someone else's character model, and I guess the AI plays like how they would play it, which seems like an interesting concept. And I could be wrong. I don't know if they're going to continue that on Dragon's Dogma 2, but I want to say I'm excited for it, especially how, and you guys have heard me say this already. I've just been harping on how I've been enjoying the RE engine from Resident Evil from Capcom. So hopefully with this engine, they can make the game just really just maybe bring this franchise back to become popular, because in my opinion, Capcom has been doing well recently. I know Street Fighter Five is already done with, especially with the other guys taking over for season five. I think the season five of Street Fighter Five put the game in a really good spot. At the very end, Street Fighter Five was in a good place, although it took forever for it to get there. With the Monster Hunter series, World and Rise, Devil May Cry, or the Resident Evil, the success they've been having with the remakes. Although to be fair, I believe Resident Evil 3 was probably a little bit of a letdown, just in the actual fact that they cut down well, it felt to me, and well, they cut down a lot of what they did in Resident Evil 3, and they reused some assets from Resident Evil 2, which isn't a bad thing. But when you cut things out from what was original to part 3 just to use more stuff from the previous game, that does feel a little like you kind of just maybe just kind of rushed out the door just to catch on the success of Resident Evil 2. But other than that though, it feels like Konami has been in a really good spot, and I would like for them to continue to do so with Dragon's Dogma. So we'll see how it plays. I've heard some people say it's similar to like almost like a Shadow of the Colossus game where you have to mount these the creatures and fight them and hold your balance and I guess attack them and stuff like that. That seems like fun. So we'll see. And they said the combat, I believe they said the same guy, Mr. Ryota Suzuki, who was a Capcom. He worked on Dragon's Dogma combat, so you're gonna see some stuff like similar to I guess Devil May Cry and stuff like that. So we'll see. Dragon's Dogma 2 again has been on my radar for a while when I saw this trailer, and now I can finally get a chance to play it. When it comes to PC or console, I'd probably go on PC. Capcom so far seems to be having some really solid ports when it comes to the PC, so we'll see. What else did we have on there? Crossfire, Crossfire Sierra Squad. It's another VR game, first person shooter. But man, when I was looking at this, and guys, I'm not saying video games cause, mass shootings and stuff like that. I'm not saying it does that, but just looking at this game, I was like, wow, it really, you know, you really see the action. You really see these guys turn into freaking bullet sponges and getting lit up, and it looked really. I mean, I never seen anybody get shot, but it just looked like, oh wow. I mean, these guys are just getting shot up, and of course it's a game, so it's very enticing. Just get in there and start shooting and stuff like that. It's like, and again, that's it. I'm not saying guns. I mean, video games cause mass shootings, but man, dude, sometimes after a while, you look at some of these video games, like the way they look and glorify it. It's like, and a lot of it's gonna come down to the individual, right? But I mean, in real talk, you just seen just a lot of individuals who go out and do these things, write manifestos, and something's off with them, and I'm sure they're suffering from a whole list of things. They're not getting help, the proper medical attention, either physically or mentally. They're maybe abused or bullied, or social media. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen, right? But it just when you really just see it in the games like that, it's like, oof. I mean, it's just something that I see, and I just like, man, you can't tell me it doesn't have any influence, but I'm not saying it does. It's really it's really weird, and it's a really nuanced conversation to have, because, and look, I play video games. I've played violent video games. I've played friendly video games. I've played fighting video games. I play all sorts, and for the most part, barring a few things, I'm pretty much a well-adjusted individual, right? I mean, I could tell the difference, between what's real and what's not when it comes to games. Some of these folks, I don't think they know a difference, and I think they blur it. So, but just seeing stuff like this, I was like, oof, yeah. I mean, they really. I mean, let's be real here, dude. How many games did we see in the Sony showcase? Starting off as a first-person shooter, whether you're shooting either firearms or projectiles, like i.e. my magic spells. I mean, you see it everywhere. It sells. It's a genre. It's a type. Everybody likes it, But then something bad happens. We got to get rid of the guns because it's the guns' fault. But in actuality, maybe we got to hold people accountable for what's going on, and have people reach out and try to help these individuals, right? Sorry, guys, I didn't mean to go on a tangent. Um, Another thing from the showcase that I didn't see was, okay. Things I was talking about things that we did see before, things that we didn't see. PlayStation 5, they're gonna have the PlayStation 5 remote play. They're gonna be basically having what looks like a handheld console with controller, with a dual sense hanging off the side of each end of the screen, which you can only play remotely from your PlayStation 5 and on Wi-Fi access. So it's like, who is this for? I know Steam Deck has their handheld. We know ROG is coming out with their handheld. Nintendo Switch, their handheld. It looks like Sony wants to come out with them, but it has to be tethered to your PlayStation 5. It's like, man, guys, I just, that's gonna be a hard sell. That's gonna be a hard sell. Like, who's that gonna be for? I guess for the folks that have only one PlayStation and they got to share it between their sibling or their significant other. Even then, would it work with if someone's using it? I'm not too sure. We'll have to look that one up. But looking at how Sony's handling it, it's almost like, guys, didn't you guys have a PlayStation Vita that was pretty good? And like, maybe not, like, maybe go back to that and kind of have it updated for modern times. It looks like there's a market for the handhelds. Now yours has to be, it just has to be good. It has to be good for it to get like a full. I mean, hell, you guys are Sony, right? I'm pretty sure you guys have enough research and development to make an awesome one, and have some sort of perks and benefits when you pair it up with your PlayStation 5 or something. But also have the ability to play without having to be anchored to that or tethered to that. And then they announced their PlayStation 5 earbuds. When it comes to like Sony peripherals, when it comes to the console, I just I tried one of their USB Bluetooth headsets once, and I thought it was okay. That's it. I wasn't wowed by it. I played it. I used it for a couple times, but and I don't know. I guess when it comes to headphones, there's different ways that I would. There's some. I already have enough headphones that I don't know. The peripherals to me from Sony just doesn't feel like it's something worth getting. I'm not too sure. I don't know, from the price to performance ratio, and you guys let me know. You guys let me know if you picked up any of the any of the Sony peripherals for the console. Marvel Spider-Man 2 being released on fall 2023. Now that one looks like fun. The trailer they showed, it looked like, yeah, Spider-Man has the Venom symbiote on his outfit already. We saw Craven out there, and it looks like you'll be bouncing between Miles Morales Spider-Man and Peter Parker Spider-Man, depending on how the game, I guess, shifts. I guess if you're doing different missions or how the story goes, you'll be bouncing between the two. It looks a lot more of the same, which isn't a bad thing if you like the first one. Is the yeah, is it the first one? Yeah, it's because it's Spider-Man and then Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I guess it's gonna be Spider-Man 2. Uh, I never played Miles Morales. I know that one came out. It launched with the PS5. The Spider-Man game, I did enjoy it when I did play it, and when I got into that game, I told myself I'm gonna platinum it. So I started collecting everything right away, and then after a while, I just realized like, okay, this is just gonna be a lot of just side quests to do. Let me do the main quest, and then I put the game down and just never came back to it. I mean, I definitely got the vibes of uh, who did the Arkham series? Was it Rocksteady guys? Rockstar Games, Rocksteady. Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I always get those confused. But the formula that they used in the Arkham games, very reminiscent. Reminds me a lot what they did with Spider-Man. Of course, you just could put the Marvel Spider-Man twist, and add his gadgets and weaponry and skills, and it looks great. The Batman games, I had a great time with it. I really enjoyed Arkham City. Never played Asylum. Then it went to Arkham Origins. When I got to Arkham Origins, I felt like the map was just way too big. Traversing was just not as fun. Arkham City was great. It was a portion of Gotham, and you're able to fly around and travel, and that was fun. That was great. Arkham Origin, I felt it just got too big. It was a chore to get from one side to the other. And then the last one, Arkham Knight, never played that one, but by then it has definitely changed from what it was on the second game, the sophomore game of that series, which I enjoyed very much. And going back to Marvel, I mean, it looks like it copies from that style and makes it and modifies it and makes it unique. And again, I played it, I had fun with it, but at a certain point, I just told myself, you know what? I just got fatigued, and I never came back. And some people really like it, so. And of course, Spider-Man is a very popular Marvel superhero. I mean, he's one of the, if not the most popular, one of the most popular characters. So he's up there, and I'm pretty sure this game's gonna do crazy. The action sequences, when seeing the gameplay, look like fun. Bouncing around, very action packed, very action packed. So if that's up your alley, I mean, give it a shot. Let me know what you think of it, because I'd like to see what you guys what's your opinion of the game when it comes out, whether it's different enough or you're just happy with that. And that's fine. And some people, they want to see more of the same. Enjoy it, please. But tell me about it. What we didn't see from Sony, and overall, like I said, guys, I watched this showcase twice, and I was really underwhelmed the first time I saw it. And then the second time I saw it, I was still like, okay, there's a little bit, maybe something there that looks cool on seconds, on the second view of the video of the showcase. But it was like, okay, but still there wasn't that much. What was your opinion on it, guys? What y'all think of it? Did y'all enjoy it? Was there a lot of things y'all wanted to see, don't see? What would you like to have seen? Me, for sure, I wish I would have seen, they would have had some stuff from FromSoft, seeing more Armored Core 6, Fire Rubicon. I would have really liked to have seen more of that. whether more information on just how what kind of character creation there's going to be or mech creation there's going to be, maybe some more of the story, maybe even if it's just a more cinematic trailer that just builds upon the world or something. I would just been more interested in seeing what that game has to offer, what FromSoft has, when it comes to making a game that isn't a Souls game, right? But yeah, I wish I would have seen some more of that. I'm excited for that game. And also, if we could have gotten more information again from Soft, but maybe some stuff from Elden Ring of the DLC, the Shadow of the Erd Tree. They've just had sent out some tweets where they showed a picture of it showed like some sort of blonde person on a horse looking over the horizon, where it got very dark and shadowy and looked like a shadow of a ghost image or a faded image of the Erd Tree, I believe. That's all we've seen. If they just get, again, just any bits of information, because right now it's kind of just left up to the rumor mill, and rumors, guys. You take it with a grain of salt, take it or leave it. But yeah, I would have just seen something from Soft. I would have been excited about it, and that's just because those games are on my radar, right? I love Elden Ring, and I want to play Armored Core, even though I never played one. But the way that FromSoft has been batting, I think it'll be a home run. So I would like to see more of that. But yeah, I think that was pretty much it. I really thought there was gonna be a lot more, but there wasn't. There wasn't. There's the way the oh my god! And then you saw Jim Ryan at the beginning of the presentation. At the end, like this guy looked like he's just been freaking. Like this guy's just like, oof. Oh, like they just suck the soul out of him, dude, just to sell out to the corporations. I don't know. He just looked like, oh man, this guy's getting up there. Um, but yeah, I was hoping to see some more. The games just felt, for the most part, cinematic trailer only. This is not actual gameplay footage, stuff like that. Oh, there's another one that I was interested in watching. I forgot to tell you guys. It was Phantom Blade Zero. That one looked pretty cool. I like the style. It looked like it was a feudal Japan, but very much leaning into the fantasy aspect of it. And, a lot of costumes and animations and settings look over the top, and it looked like fun. But just looking at the gameplay, it looked like it's going to be very action oriented. So I'm, if it's done right, a la, Devil May Cry, stuff like that. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd be getting into it. I would enjoy it. But we got to see. Hopefully it's fun, and it's not something just kind of like, how you play some action games and it's just basically square, 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 up, triangle, finishing move. Like they would have to make it fun and layered, and just so I could be excited for it. So we still got to see how the gameplay looks, but visually the setting, that looked pretty cool. So we'll see. But yeah, Phantom Blade Zero and Metal Gear, Dragon's Dogma, Final Fantasy, and again, there was a lot of games on there, guys. But some of them I just didn't care. I mean, there was one from Square Enix, Foam Stars. Like, it looks like a ripoff from freaking what's the Splatoon kids? The Splatoon, yeah, it looked like a ripoff of that. It's like, wow, okay. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it for the PlayStation Sony State of Play. Okay. One last thing before we take off, guys. So, Lord of the Ring Golem seems to be the worst game released for 2023. From Nacon, the publisher and the developers are from an in-house studio, Daedalic Entertainment. I saw some clips and shots and screenshots on Twitter about this game, and wow, it looks rough. And it's been looking rough, and you almost want to see, like, you want to see the Lord of the Ring franchise do well, but it seems like they've just been missing. Everything's just been misses. I mean, we saw with the Amazon Lord of the Ring shows, those were garbage. I got maybe halfway through the fourth episode, maybe fifth episode, and I just never came back. I think I saw a stat somewhere where only like 37% of the viewers actually finished the series. And then this video game coming out, it just they just can't get a win. I know Amazon has the not Elden Ring. I'm sorry, the Lord of the Rings MMO, I believe. I don't know how that's going, but I'm sure it's. I don't. I can't take it back. I don't even know why I brought it up. I just I just know Amazon has Lord of the Rings, and I don't know how that's going at all. Maybe it's doing great. I don't know. Maybe you guys love MMOs. But looking at Lord of the Ring Golem, and oh my god, of course the guys they had the they did the whole tweet out an apology for the game coming out the state it is. It's like, do you guys not check the quality of your game before it releases to see if it's in a good spot, regardless if it's on? I mean, not regardless, but check it and at least make sure it's good on the PC side, on the console side, current gen, last gen, whichever you want to release it. Like how does this get by like quality control? I get it. You're a licensed game, so you kind of have to like work within certain boundaries of a narrative that's already set with Golem, right? That's another thing too, right? It was supposed to be like a stealth based game. I don't know. I mentioned either in last podcast or this one is just I don't know if stealth is in now. I don't know if it's the genre that people enjoy. A lot of times people want to play games, they want to get into it and just start having either the story being doled out or have some action going on already, or be able to play stealth. I mean, I remember recently, maybe a month ago, playing Metal Gear Solid 5, and I have to like, okay, it's try streaming it. I mean, I enjoyed playing the game, but I don't know when it comes out how it comes out when it comes to streaming, when you want something to happen and everybody just kind of have to wait till the patrol comes back around, or for some people who aren't into stealth games, you're gonna have to like exhibit a lot of patience to get around and stuff like that. So I don't even know how much of a strong chance this game had even at launch to begin with. Look, they took their shot, and I'm not here to like knock down anybody for trying something different, but at the same time, like the fact that it got released in this state, something got missed. Something got missed for sure. I mean, I don't know if they just fell asleep behind the wheel or just not paying attention and they're just more relaxed when it comes to the quality, but something like this should have never been released, and it just leaves a bad it's just bad lighting for when it comes to video games, when it comes to these big companies trying to push these games out, because at least the game was still priced at I believe it's still priced at just $59.99, what the prices have been for the longest. But can you imagine if they would have tried increasing the price to $69.99? And the backlash would have been insurmountable, honestly. But I don't know, guys. It just sucks when you see these games coming out and not ready. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. It's not good for the fans. It's not good for the developers. It's not good for the industry. It's just, this is something, a practice that you just need to stop. I mean, and we've seen it before, right? Where a lot of these companies will release a game that isn't just quite ready, and they expect to just, have day one patches and fix it out as the time goes on, or rest on the laurels, a la CD Projekt Red, where they're like, "Well, we made Witcher 3, Cyberpunk 2077, we'll get around to it." It just that's just a really bad look for, I mean, not even just the industry, but the fans itself who want to enjoy these games. And I'm sure there's some hardcore Lord of the Ring fan who saw this like, man, I don't play much video games, but I do like Lord of the Rings, and maybe they got into this and just had a really rotten experience, and that's terrible. It sucks. It's in my opinion just totally unacceptable. But that's it. I think that's it for me, guys. I know last episode was very short. I had to cut it just because I went over throughout the previous month, and this episode is a quick continuation of the last episode, guys. So make sure you hear these two in tandem. Let me see. We are now halfway. By the time you guys listen to this, we are halfway through the year. We'll be kicking off the second half of 2023. I'll make sure to take lots of notes on what we have coming up for late summer. Well, actually, this is like early summer. We'll have for summer, autumn, and early fall, because 2023, I think it's gonna be the year, guys, of, like I said, peaks and valleys. We're gonna have lots of lows and lots of highs. I think this is what this, when we look back at 2023, that's what we're gonna remember, is just games being all over the place. And hopefully, we could bounce back. And I mean, I know we don't develop games, we're just more of a consumer. But as a fan of video games, so hopefully 2024 will start and look, 2023 isn't a wash. By no means is it's not a wash. We had some really good games. It's just for every really good games that we had very two poor games, on the opposite end of the spectrum. So yeah, guys, that's it for me for today. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Don't stay up too late. Again, I appreciate y'all listening. Have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope to catch y'all next time. I love y'all. Get some rest, play some video games, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys.